Hey, so it's just me today, and today we're going to talk about magic.
Hey,
Whoa, where did you come from?
of course I was gonna make it for the magic podcast. It's India and magicians and Jadugars. Let's get into it. So when I think of magic, there's only one person I think of, and that is my grandfather. He was an amazing magician.
Damn, that is so cool.
Yeah, so my granddad, this is from my mom's side. So following the tradition of Bengalis do magic, he did magic.
Nice.
And he could do like shows of like an hour and all.
Wow.
So
like legit.
Legit magician. So with all our cousins, we used to sit and he used to perform in front of us. And professional tricks. Like there's one trick, I don't know whether you know, it's called Water of India.
No, I don't.
Okay. So what the magician does usually, he'll show that there's a bartan. He'll turn it like that, and then it's completely empty, and then he keeps it in front of you here, and he says ignore it, we'll just continue with the show. And then you do your card tricks, your rope tricks, or things like this where where did it go.
Say the magic line. say it.
My granddad never made us do poo poo.
Now Akanksha's grandfather is a magician I would like.
Okay, so and then periodically, randomly in the middle, say 15 minutes into the show or something, he'd be like 1 minute. He'd pick it up and he'd empty it and like the water would flow. So it's like, oh, looks like that was water from the Ganga, and then he'd keep it there. So every time he'd mention it, it would be like a different water body. That was called like the Water of India or something. That's the name of the trick. So basically, throughout the show in that 1 hour, 4 times he's emptied it and showed you, and there's like water in it again, like never-ending supply of water.
Dude,
I have no idea. He was a good magician. He never let out his secrets.
of course.
The only secret that I did find out, I will not reveal to you all, but I know after he passed away, I have his deck of cards. So like they were kept very carefully, and I mean I've kept them super carefully. They're with my mom right now. And that deck of cards is a magician's deck of cards, and I wish I'd brought it here, but too bad. And I know the trick behind the magician's deck of cards.
Nice.
So that is the legacy that he passed on, but he never told me.
Nice.
I had to figure that shit out for
Nice. I like the general energy of your grandfather is freaking amazing.
So I mean, I'm sure to be very fair, if I had shown an interest and asked him as a kid, he would have
for sure.
told me. But to me, it was just something my granddad does. There's no need to like poke holes in it or to ask him. Or honestly, मेरे को interest नहीं था. I was that useless child who didn't know what she had.
Damn, dude. Now I'm thinking, I would have been like, nahi, mujhe sikhao.
Exactly.
Because
I think my cousin brother did do that, and like obviously they're all older than me, so they also had more time with my granddad. But I was very happy just being his favorite. And he'd be like, "Whoo, here's a chocolate." I'm like, "Yes."
Bus hai, dude. Bus hai. I agree. Utta actually bus hai.
Yeah, so I was happy with that. It's only later when I found out his interest and like the amount of skill it actually takes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you know how if your mom makes great samosas at home, you just think that great samosas are available everywhere. I never knew that the magician of his caliber was a rare thing.
Wow.
Right?
Dude,
So,
that is such a good thing to think about, because I was like, magicians rule. Magicians are the best. And you're saying like, हाँ मेरे घर पे तो हर रोज होता है. मुझे तो पता ही था.
Like my granddad is magic. So like because my granddad was into it, honestly, and his inspiration was PC Sorcar. Right? To me, if you mention like an Indian magician, it was only PC Sorcar.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he was the most famous. Like, why we actually are talking about this topic is also, when I was looking up Indian magicians, the only name I could think of or like that I came across multiple times was PC Sorcar.
Yeah.
And I was like, ये आदमी क्या legend था. मतलब क्या आदमी था, dude. There is a video of him on a BBC show in the 1950s.
Got it.
So it's full black and white, okay? And this guy is like has a flair about him when he's performing, right? So he's very confident. He's like, okay, this is this trick, this is that trick, and all the tricks had like Indian names. Like this is the temple of Banaras.
Got it.
And so his assistant used to go sit in that temple kind of box, and then he used to put swords, and then kholta tha to assistant nahi rehti thi, and then he used to come. Like so every trick had like an Indian name.
Yeah.
And there's this incident. I have to fact check this, so I don't know if it's true, but I read that
maybe it's a part of his mythology, like a part of his legend, right?
No, so basically what happened during that transmission, what happened was that he has a very famous trick of cutting his assistant in half. right? So he cut his assistant in half, and that's when the transmission died.
Oh.
Right? So the show got like
killed. Like that's all the time.
No, transmission बंद हो गया. कुछ तो technical failure, कुछ तो हो गया, and people are left with seeing that
a person
in half. So people actually thought that they have witnessed a murder on television. And then to sort of clear up this idea that no fuck, वो actually जोड़ता है उसको वापस. That is how PC Sarkar sold out shows in the UK.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so
I have such an interesting thing to add to this. So there is another version of the story. So this definitely happened, by the way, I think. Right? Like where, because people couldn't see the end of the two-person like put back together, they went wild to see his show.
Correct.
Right? But so there was another amazing magician in India at that time. Okay, I'll just like say his name properly.
No, just to make a point of the PC Sarkar thing, that is by far the best cliffhanger
you've ever come across.
Because to resolve it, you need to see it in person.
Yeah.
That is freaking amazing.
So there was another magician called Gogia Pasha. I may be saying the first name wrong, and I apologize for that. But we never get names right on the show anyway. So, like, why bother?
No.
So, he was a very good magician, very good showman. But he used to perform in the persona of an Egyptian magician. And why is that? Is because the whole tradition of sort of doing magic came to India from there, and we definitely built on it. So what he would do is, what he was doing in his time was, he's like, I'm being a traditionalist. I'm doing it the Egyptian way.
In his mind, he was a purist.
Yeah. And he was supposed to be spectacular. People argue that he was better than PC Sarkar. Difference being, PC Sarkar was a better showman and he was more shrewd when it came to business. So they say that there are two legends now.
Wow.
A, Mr. Pasha, who was born in Multan, he was so good that he has supposedly performed for Hitler at one point.
Nice.
The
image of Hitler
watching a magic show.
Dude, I want to know Hitler ka reaction. Like I'm thinking that right now.
Yeah.
Like, what would be Hitler's reaction to a magic show?
I have to assume that he must have been really charmed.
I feel, okay, so you are on Charmed and I am on Stone-Faced. No expression.
No, you know why I feel charmed? Because you know the story, we're probably going to cut this, but you know the story of how he met apna hockey legend Dhyan Chand.
Dhyan Chand.
Yeah, and he tried to poach him
for Germany. Oh, that's a great story.
Right, so he met him and he said, if you come to Germany, I will whole family, good life forever, it'll gonna be great.
Aake bas hamare German team ke sath
join
hockey
the German team. And very politely, Dhyan Chand said, no, thank you, sir, I'll go home. So
thank you.
That, first of all, that image is burnt in my brain.
I love that story.
Okay?
I love that story.
And I'm like, considering how sweet and polite he was to Dhyan Chand, and the fact that he liked the arts and magic shows, I have to admit that he was like, hey, this is entertaining. Because we forget that Hitler was awful, but he was also a very charismatic leader.
True that. Actually, you know what? You guys settle this debate for us. Yeah. Or if you think there's a third reaction
that Hitler could have had,
please let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Actually, this needs to be solved.
True. Or at least divided by partisan.
Yeah, kuch to chahiye.
So but the group that supports, that thinks that Pasha was a greater magician than Sarkar, and Sarkar was just there at a very lucky time because TV had just started, right? Which definitely added to his fame.
Pasha was before
Sarkar? And slightly merging.
Slightly overlapping.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because see na, 47 के आसपास तो, I mean, उसके पहले ही तो war वगैरह हुआ था.
हाँ, correct.
Right? Slightly overlapping.
Got it. Cool.
So, they say that Sarkar did that on purpose. That he cut the transmission.
Yeah, I believe it.
When that happened, because he knew it would generate curiosity. And people would lose their minds.
But that is amazing.
I think it's great. I feel either way, PC Sarkar is great.
That is just capitalism at its peak.
One story says that it just so happened. The other one's like he planned it. Yeah. So that's the story.
Nice.
So turns out, when I started researching like you only, even I thought कि PC Sarkar है, उसका बेटा junior है, और granddaughter भी है. But like, I don't know, Maneka.
Sarkar ka family has been practicing magic from the past 7 generations.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, पैदाइशी they are Jadugaar only.
सब लोग magician हैं घर पे वो लोग.
उनका घर कैसा रहता है?
I was just thinking that, dude, क्या मस्त रहेगा उनका घर.
Wow.
That's a good house.
Children in the Sarkar house don't want to eat the Karela, they'll just make it vanish.
खत्म. And then dad will be like, बाप को चिता.
Here's the full kacha Karela.
Because of course he's Indian dad, no?
Yeah, very good.
बाप को मत सिखाना.
I love this family.
It's a fucking amazing house.
That should be a reality show. Keeping up with the Sarkars.
Dude.
I would watch that show.
You know what? If PC Sarkar was around today, he would do that.
I think he would.
If the
The
transmission...
equivalent would be of that.
Correct. He would. He'll be like, ये चल रहा है, मैं तो करेगा.
Correct. So when I started, I thought यही एक family है और कोई करता नहीं. So, but turns out India comes from like a ancient line of amazing world famous magicians, right? And many of them are Bengali. So like I'm beginning to understand why the world sort of thinks that Bengali people just do magic. And you know what?
Magic.
We are magic. Screw you guys. Like when I say a really long tradition of world famous magicians, it means that even the magicians of the West, who we hold in very high regard now, like Harry Houdini and everybody, that time they were all trying to emulate the Indian magicians.
Dude, that is the best fact that I learned when I was researching for this podcast.
Yeah.
Is Harry Houdini started out as in a pseudonym where he used to dress up as an Indian by the name of Hindu Fakir.
Yeah, he used to do this in like shows, in
Yeah.
a sense like not flea markets, nahi.
हाँ, मेलास basically.
Melas.
Indian मेला concept.
Flea
वो उधर
market,
का flea market.
I was like, what is the word? Fair.
Fair.
Fair is the word.
Fair.
So in fairs,
अपन तो मेला बोलते अपने को थोड़ी पता.
so he would actually like put on brown makeup
He used
and
to do-
turban and like ganji or whatever, I don't know.
He used to do
Dhoti,
brown face.
and be like, you know, the fakir of something or the Hindu fakir, whatever.
So he went under Hindu Fakir, and then
Yeah.
there were other magicians from like this part of the world and the West
Yeah.
who used to go by the names of like Fakir of Jaipur,
Fakir of Shimla.
something like
Like, and all these names, like what they did is they combined, like the fakir part combined like the whole Middle Eastern tradition of magic, and the place like Shimla, Jaipur combined the whole Indian part of the magic. Because at that time, and I would argue even to date, the pioneers of magic have been from this area. I'm not saying the best inventors or the best creativity.
Maybe.
I'm saying that is where they also know that magic was celebrated. Is this region?
Yeah, I feel I sort of feel a little different to that because I feel pioneer wise, yes, like this is the starting ground.
Yeah.
Right? India was like the starting ground, but now it has like when the world thinks of magic now,
They don't think of
they don't think of India. Like
That's
nobody
true.
will think of India. It's always
the US?
US actually.
I think because of entertainment.
Haan,
Because
because
everything entertainment is, you think of the US because their biggest cultural export is entertainment.
Yeah, correct. And
Right?
like those guys have like completely capitalized the market of
Magic.
the commercial magicians,
Yeah.
to so to speak.
But back then, to sell their shows, they had to be Indians.
Yeah.
Right? Like, isn't that totally dope? And at the same time, I feel like the Indian magicians who were coming up, so in India, we have seen the Indian rope trick. We have seen those Indian mystic things happening on the
Standard.
side of the road. Right?
That's the
So what is fancy for us? It's Western magic.
got it.
Right? So they started being like, instead of your sherwani and your turban, maybe I'm going to put on like a top hat and a tux.
Yeah.
Right?
And then do magic.
And then do magic. And now it's like even a step further, where like David Blaine ko dekh ke, the aajkal ke magicians are probably doing t-shirt jeans mein magic.
Because now they're
Right?
like basically I think what David Blaine went for was like I'm just an everyday person who does magic.
Oh, right.
I will relate to the people. That's
I
actually
mean, I kind of get it.
Huh.
I mean, he's definitely a charming individual and his show is fun to watch.
I wouldn't say charming, but
You know what? If I see his show now and be like,
No,
but
I still
back
enjoy it.
then,
I still enjoy
I used to really enjoy it.
I still enjoyed. I still watch reruns of it. It's crazy.
It's a great show. I mean, there was such a India has always has such a rich magical heritage.
Yeah.
Because I think magic is just stitched within our fabric as a society.
So basically, why I feel that India had a lot of these pioneers, so to say, of magic, and like it's sort of the birthplace of magic, is because as a culture, we have always believed in magic from the times of the Vedas. Like Atharva Ved is actually has knowledge of spells and potions and all of that you can use in daily life.
Got it.
Right? Vedo se agar aa raha hai, to obviously that is like the birthplace of Hindu culture. So I feel that's where it has always been a part of us. Plus mythology, I just sort of look it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right about it being a part of our culture, and which is why Asia itself and India, whatever, included in Asia, just considered the land of mysticism.
Correct.
Because it's very much a fabric of who we are. That's what the West craves. Which is why they were like, because see, in the West during, say, the 18th century to like the early 19th century, things were going very much the science way. Correct. Even in India, not like India mein nahi ho raha tha. But so the West was trying to explain everything, which I think it still does.
Yeah, for sure.
But it believes, when it looks to the East, that here magic is still possible. Here spirituality is still possible.
I agree.
This is the land where, something that you cannot explain will happen to you.
It is beyond the ordinary. And that is why I feel it is like it attracts people.
Correct.
Because it's something that you will not face in everyday life. But we as people, we have, जैसा आपने बोला कि magicians तो हमने रास्ते में देखे.
Exactly.
Like we've seen it all around us. Now I don't know because of COVID what is happening. But now, like if you would go to Pune station, there will be two competing magicians next to each other.
Yeah, which is, we don't realize it, but how awesome is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
And the fact is, there's something amazing about roadside magicians, I'll tell you now. So people on stage have distractions. They have a team.
Correct.
They have literally like apna that white fog, kam wo se bana hua, and they have all of this stuntry and showmanship or whatever. Your roadside magician has none of that.
Nothing.
What he has is pure skill and pure creativity.
Yeah, for sure.
If he's distracting you and convincing you are seeing magic, now that is something, dude. That is something else. And like we really have sort of forgotten that is where skill lies.
No, I think the thing is because we've seen it so often, we just take it for granted nowadays.
Right.
कि हाँ ठीक है ये तो होता ही है. But if you get like a white person and make him stand in front of the street magic, उसका तो दिमाग फट जाएगा. He's like, dude, what is happening?
वही तो हुआ. Exactly वही तो हुआ. हाँ, so you were saying in mythology also.
Yeah, so
like we have.
हाँ, तो वेदों में तो था ही, but mythological characters are.
Never mind. Patalok has ruined वेदों में for me.
It just triggers.
वेदों में तो लिखा है पर मैंने WhatsApp पर पढ़ा था.
So actually we have mythological characters also who have had like magic powers. And when I say magic powers, I mean literal like magic powers.
No, but like don't gods technically, I mean.
No, but
like gods have powers, na? How god power is different from magic power?
Yes, it is different because that is why these characters stand out.
Okay, tell me.
They are like
magic powers.
Mythology, maybe इनके पास magic powers थे.
Okay.
So one of them is Indrajit, who's the eldest son of Ravan. So Indrajit.
But Ravan had 10 heads.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to do magic.
I love this country.
Dude, it is kitna mast hai. See, Ravan had 10 heads. That means he was very intelligent and he was like a battle strategist and he was very fierce when it comes to battle.
Understood.
Magic nahi kar raha na wo bet ke. Indrajit, son of Ravan, he was an expert in tantra and magic. Like that was his area of expertise. And then the second one we have is the son of Bhim. Son of Bhim, Ghatotkacha. Ghatotkacha, actually very interesting. So Ghatotkacha's mother, who is Hidimba.
Hidimba, huh?
Yeah. So Hidimba is actually from the Rakshas.
Yeah, she's a Rakshas.
Yes.
Huh.
And that is why Ghatotkacha gets his magical powers from the Rakshas. From his mother's side.
Yeah, I know about like uski wife Hidimba. But this is very interesting because I never previously thought of this because I knew this last one, this anecdote. I never thought of him like his magic to be magic. I just assume like, how gods get blessings from both sides, that's how it works. But I guess because it's coming from a Rakshas.
Yeah, I think that is what...
Rakshasni. It's becoming, it's considered magical powers.
Magical, maybe. But yeah, now that I think about it. Okay, now that you mentioned blessings.
Right.
Aren't technically blessings also magic in the sense that they enable someone else to do something they will not be able to do ordinarily?
Definitely. They are.
That is why I feel mythology mein when you say कि ये magician है, you're just like हाँ सब लोग करता है. But उसमें they stand out because they have sort of mastered the art and they use it in like warfare or daily life. I feel.
So Indrajit ka is making more sense to me because वो पढ़ा है वो.
हाँ. He's a master of that.
Yeah.
So.
Like he's not just got it from somewhere.
It's not like a blessing. Damn, dude. वैसे actually mythology is just filled with magic.
That is something I really want to talk about today. Because you know what? We can't talk about the fact that India is a land of magic without mentioning that there is also a very strong hand of black magic.
Yeah.
Right? Now, black magic has always been considered, as the name suggests, right? No, like scary, unsafe, evil, whatever. And I just thought, let me like read up ki ye hota kya hai? Like what is the halabaloo about, so to speak. And the most basic definition that you will come upon over and over again is that it's magic done for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Right? And it has basically like mean ulterior motives. Okay.
It is to cause harm or like cause chaos in the world, basically.
Mostly it's done for selfish reasons.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And I was like, oh, magic done for selfish reasons is black magic. Magic done for good reasons is good magic. I'm like, hold on a minute. Every time we pray for something, right? Technically, that is usually a selfish reason. So if I'm praying to Lakshmi, so that I am more prosperous in life, that is a selfish reason. And I am reading a part. Okay, I'm reading literally something that's sort of a mantra to her in hopes that she will then give me something.
Correct.
Right? How is this a different transaction? Now, I should clarify that I'm not saying that praying to a god is akin to black magic or black magic is always good and full of rose petals. Both of them have their dark sides and good sides. But I'm saying that they are two sides of the exact same coin.
See, okay, I agree that they are two sides of the exact same coin. So when I was reading up about it, there is something called in our culture only. There's something called as white magic and there's something called as black magic. Okay, like you said, yes, black magic is selfish and it's poised for harm and it is only used for destructive purposes. Correct. Now, white magic is described as almost as spreading positivity in the world, like using that magic or that powers to help not only yourself but others around you, right? So that is why we have something called, this I found very interesting, jo I think har bacche ne suna hai, but it's called the threefold law. It applies to magic as well. So threefold law basically says that if you spread positivity in the world, it will come back to you threefolds. And I feel that same applies for black magic. If you spell destruction, tumko teen baar hoga, right? So those principles are clear.
But who's listing these principles? Where is this from?
This is one of the articles that I read on a magician's forum or Indian magician's forum. I'll actually link the article in the description. It's a very good read.
I was wondering whether even this was from like the Vedas or something.
I feel it does come from a religious place because it sort of follows the same patterns, but I cannot fact check that at this moment.
Cool.
But see, I agree that when you say that we praying to Lakshmi, saying that Mera bhala karo is also selfish, but I feel it is not causing anyone harm is why it is classified as white magic. I feel the lines are blurred for sure.
I'll tell you why. I feel like more than the person making the desire known, it is who you're making it known to.
Correct. For sure.
Because I feel like whoever describes black magic, like whoever has traditionally described black magic, like say if it's written in any of the scriptures and the Vedas, who is writing the scriptures? Who is writing the Vedas? It is the Brahmins. It is the caste who will directly, negatively not earn money if you have a problem and you don't go to them and you go to a black magician.
Yeah. Basically, if you don't go to a pujari but you go to a tantric.
Yes.
So tantric,
So,
that's why it's...
I don't even think it's about an individual's intent. I think it's who they go to.
Yeah,
right?
Actually, that
if you
makes
go
sense.
to a pujari, they're like, because it's, he's the high caste, because it's all okay.
तो सब अच्छा कर रहा है, जो भी कर रहा है,
So
basically.
like, come on, yeah, people go with most obscene things to pandits, and that is okay. But like, say black magic, so nothing should happen to my child, is considered it's considered black magic. So I feel it's who you go to.
Yeah, actually, dude. Now that I think about it, for sure. Because see, it also makes sense that I think because of that, that divide right there in the beginning, even today we see the lower class of society believing more in like ghosts and exorcisms and tantrics and all of that.
And वो तो होगा ही ना, सोचो, if you think about it. Because this class of society, these castes of people are not welcome to go to the Pandit.
Yeah.
The Pandit will not want to come to their home, or will ask for something exorbitant which they cannot afford.
For sure.
So who has been solving their problems traditionally? It is the Tantric. It is the man who does not care.
I find it very strange that we have used the word Tantra or a Tantric. In a very negative connotation. Because a tantric basically is a person who has knowledge about certain laws and the ways things work, right?
Yeah.
But that is not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it,
he's basically an expert in his field.
Exactly, he's an expert in his field. और अपन अपने मन में तांत्रिक आता है, मतलब वो ऐसा लंबे बाल, black, ये झाड़ू लेके आता है.
Right. But you know what? I'm just like this whole idea. So look where we started. We started with like magic shows and we reached here to dark magic, black magic. I don't think it's as long as a distance, because it really isn't. We covered it really fast, right? So it is definitely two sides of the same coin, and both exist in harmony here. And they should. And like, I think we need to remove that notion from our head, where we are like all black magic is a bad thing and all pujari stuff is a good thing. Both of these notions are dangerous.
Yeah, of course. Dude, because black magic basically ना branding से मार खाया है.
Exactly.
और कुछ नहीं, branding से मार खाया वो.
Yeah, it's like, how the whole difference between like Ayurveda and like normal medicine. Say normal medicine, I said. My own feelings came out like this only.
Normal? Ayurveda.
What is the word for it?
Allopathy.
Exactly. So both of them, like both practitioners, know a lot about the human body. They know a lot about ailments. They're treating it with a different set of rules.
Yeah, different means.
Yeah, different set of rules. So like, I think it's very similar with magic, man.
Dude, you know what? I somehow feel even the mantras, if we go deep enough, would be the same.
Probably.
They are just used in different ways or targeted differently.
This is full speculation. Here, we both of us know nothing.
नहीं पता. मैं नहीं करता काला जादू.
Or even white jadoo we don't do.
Actually, dude, you know what? मेरे को करना मान.
Oh my god, am I sitting next to a Pandit? I have sinned.
No, the closest I am is a tam rap. That's about it. Pandit something.
So basically, now that we know that everything exists here, Aram se, right? Tell me if you've heard of a village in Assam which is supposed to be the holy grail of black magic. I know those things don't apply to each other, but it's pretty cool.
I love that sentence. It is the holy grail of black magic. So Christian लोग कैसे इधर उल्टी है थोड़ा सा.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I think I've offended everybody in this podcast. कोई बचा नहीं है. Buddhists बचे होंगे. I'm coming to that.
Okay, so yeah, actually, so this, wait, the holy grail, I am only going to call it holy grail of black magic, village in Assam, you said. So what's it called?
It's called Malong, right?
Malong, I think. Wait
it's
Mayong.
Mayong, sorry.
It's called Mayong.
Right. So Mayong apparently is this space which has an ancient history of always being associated with black magic.
With black magic specifically.
Yeah.
Like, not magic.
So, to the point that now, I mean, after literally thousands of years probably, they have incorporated it, and they have not incorporated, they were always there with them, black magic, but people also go there just to like feel that vibe of what this space is like. And this part I have to read out to you. They actually have an emporium of black magic and witchcraft in the village.
Wow, that's actually interesting.
It's so cool.
That is so cool. मेरे को जाके देखना है, dude.
Yeah, 100%. If you go there, I feel like that is the place to go. I was like, first I'll go to Emporium and come. Like how you have Emporium of handicraft.
At the exit, they have like black magic cars or selling shop. You can buy potions and shit. That'll be so cool.
Amazing. So, I mean, this was just an interesting fact, which I thought was very cool.
Dude, but it's so cool. Like, so the thing is, it still exists till date. Till date, people believe that. I
don't see it going anywhere.
Of course not. So the story goes that they actually, a community of wizards and witches migrated to this place and they just called it their own.
Yeah.
And then from there, generation on generation, they've just been like wizards and witches or whatever.
Right. I mean, and so this is the ancient pratha. Matlab, this place, like, it's been so well known that in Aurangzeb's time, there's been a written document about this place that Aurangzeb was not afraid of the armies in this region, but he was afraid of this village. This village actually protected.
Wow, that is badass.
Yeah, like
that is so cool.
Protected that land from invasion because people don't fuck with what they don't understand, which is a great thing. Neither do I, by the way. Like, I might be like very nice with my thoughts, but if someone came and said that, listen, don't mess with something, just do like some make a circle in salt and leave, I'll do it.
For sure.
I'm like, I don't want to mess with it.
नहीं, उतना फट्टू I feel होना चाहिए life में. It is survivalistic at this point.
I'm like, see, what you don't understand, it's okay.
Yeah,
like,
just go for it.
I mean,
but I feel like magic also definitely falls on the rat spectrum, especially black magic. So it's either, I feel people didn't understand what black magic was. It was just, again, branded in a very negative way, and then they just widely it was accepted that, you know, inse to dur hi rehna hai. Ye pura is, because I actually remember this, like, there used to be this one lady in when I was in Yeroda. I just randomly remembered. So this lady, like outside our society compound was a bus stop. और वो बस स्टॉप के बाजू में आके उसने वो जगह ले लिया था.
That was where she stays.
That just she came and she adopted that space and whatever. But this woman was legit scary. Like I'm not, and वो the rumor तो बच्चे लोग हैं तो everyone भाई वो काला जादू करते काला जादू चल लवड़ा nonsense, what nonsense, whatever. But then shit started getting fucking weird, dude.
Oh, no.
Like honestly, so this lady, when she came, she used to always be sleeping and whatever, very chill. Suddenly, we were walking past and I could see her like light fire in her hand one random day. And then I was like, yes, बच्चे लोग सही बोल रहे हैं. ये
That
auntie
is some dope stuff.
ये auntie तो she's mad, dude. And it just got weirder. And for kids, our playtime was gone because our playtime was just going and observing what she's doing.
Maybe she's putting on a show for you guys.
For us, no. अरे हाथ मत जलाओ फिर कुछ और करो, but whatever. So like I don't know what was wrong with that lady, right? She was there for like a few months, but she used to do weird shit. She used to cut heads of chickens. We could see that she actually did that trick of cutting the chicken's head off and putting it back again. I saw her doing that.
Nice.
And no, it's not nice.
I know, but I'm just like someone is very talented.
Dude, when an old lady with white hair and like disheveled does that in front of you, who you've seen burn her hand, it's not nice.
It's scary.
It is fucking scary.
No, but I'm just saying, take this woman off the street, give her a bath, give her fancy clothes, put her on a stage, she does the same trick, you'll be like, wow.
For sure. Like, see, branding se maar khaya.
Exactly.
And then I remember how also, dude, then it became so absurd that the elders got involved. Because this lady
I mean, I do understand outside a society of any person decapitating chickens in front of children, it's not cool.
And then she used to light a fire down and she used to dance on it and shit.
So she was legit a magician, not a black magician.
Auntie, kya kar rahe ho? And then all kids got scared and then we told our parents and then they just, I think someone from the corporation came and just relocated her magic show somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. So she is doing a magic show. I was not wrong about that.
No, she was doing a magic show.
Kind for that
she
audience.
Was not doing the pleasant kind. She was not doing the commercially accepted magic show.
उसका branding नहीं था.
Correct. Oh dude, shit, मेरे को randomly याद आई रे वो आंटी.
हाँ, वही तो नाम. I was about to say when I asked you about your experience, how you left this out.
I think my mind just blocked it.
Yeah, like नहीं चाहिए.
I haven't seen this. But you know what? Speaking about auntie, and actually thinking about auntie, whatever research that I've done for this podcast, except for the latest one, who's not really a magician, she's a mentalist, Suhani, I haven't come across any female magicians who are like in the prominence.
You know, that's really fair. Because I think the main magician has always been like a male dominant profession. And there's always the magician's assistant, you know, the one who gets cut.
I was just coming to that point. I'm like, this is so sad.
Yeah, so that person is very much involved. She knows how the trick goes.
For sure.
But she's the one getting hacked in half, right?
Bichari.
I mean, it is in one way because like it'd be really nice to see a show run by a female magician from top to bottom.
For sure.
But there were actually one or two back in the day.
You know what? I feel in today's time, a female comedian might get that flair and this thing right. She might be able to do a better job.
But you meant magician though. You said comedian.
I went to comedy so much. Okay.
So it's a great place to be. It's
I know, yeah.
So I think back in the day, basically there were only I think 2 female magicians of any prominence. One of them was Maneka, so that's pretty recent because she's the granddaughter of PC Sarkar.
Oh, nice.
Right? But there was one called Fakir Koringa. She called herself that. I think she was European. But her act is burnt in my brain just by reading the sentence. The person who did this research said Fakir Koringa's main act was hypnotizing a crocodile.
Nice. That is so cool.
I have so many questions. I'm like, you can't finish the sentence there. Where is the crocodile coming from?
नहीं हो क्या? बस बाकी तुम देखो.
Where does it stay?
Well,
does she travel with her or does she have to source a new crocodile?
No, I think logistically she would be like, हाँ ये तो.
I mean, they live really long, so she probably takes it with. But I was like, crocodile.
Wow.
In whatever she hypnotizes, if you gave me that fill in the blanks, I would have said, I don't know, an alien before I would have said a crocodile.
Actually, yeah. Her main act is hypnotizing
a dash.
I don't know. Crocodile to nahi bolta.
Book sakte, dude.
No chance.
I was like, that's something. Matlab, sapera to, she's like, sapera to everyone does. Na? Like, now and let's get a bigger, more dangerous, more volatile reptile.
Nice. You know what
that lady is impressive.
You know what that lady and her story takes my stupid mind to? I'm so dumb, dude. Do you remember in our ads episode, we spoke about an Alpenliebe ad?
Yes! Where the crocodile has the Alpenliebe and chases her everywhere.
My mind was like, वैसे तो होता है. And that's how I was like, of course he follows everyone. Because I'm like, ad में तो बता दो. And now I'm like, you are so dumb, dude.
CGI crocodile. Oh, wow. Yeah. So that lady be impressive.
Yeah, man, fuck. That's awesome. That is so badass. And you know what I feel?
Yeah.
I sort of feel that auntie knew that, you know what I need to make it in a man's world. I need to do something which is amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
that is why she's like, you know what, मैं तो crocodile
like,
को hypnotize
कर like तुम vanish करो Taj Mahal में crocodile hypnotize कर देगा. But you know, thinking about this, like, see, when you saw her perform on the side of the road, now that is the origins of Indian magic, right? The street magic that you're talking about. I know you were filled with fear, right? But did you try and poke holes in it?
Absolutely. Dude, I was too busy shitting my own pants.
So you did, right?
No, of course not.
You were like, this is happening and it's fucking freaky.
जो है वो है. मुझे नहीं पता कैसे हो रहा है, and I don't want to know.
I am kind of happy I mean, I'm not saying I'm happy that you were in an uncomfortable place, but I'm happy that your mind didn't directly go to, this is fucking fake, I'm going to figure out how this happened.
Yeah.
Because that's how we've become.
That's for sure.
Right?
For sure.
We've become these people who are like always looking not at the magic, but the trick behind it. Which is the sadder part of the
actually,
story.
Mujhe na, like honestly, like I said with the breaking the magician's code wala also thing.
Yeah.
That made me sad. Like that kind of a thinking sort of really made me sad, because I was like, dude, the wonder that I had as a kid, like that I felt as a kid, that reaction of, oh fuck, how did you do this?
Yeah.
It's just gone.
At some point.
And I'm like, that's so sad. That's so sad.
Like, I think I want to see magic. And I know that you are saying that nowadays, apparently, I've not done this, I've not got into this world. But Ramanujan was telling me before the podcast that there are people now who are trying to get into magic again, like on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there is a new crop of magicians that has coming up. Obviously, like I'm not saying a new crop in the sense, so magic has now gone from the streets, which I think that street culture will never die. From that, it has gone to shows like India's Got Talent, where there's a lot of magicians who come on India's Got Talent and perform. So it's gone in the commercial side, but now with the new wave of the internet, it is going towards towards YouTube.
Oh. Okay.
Like on YouTube, you will find. I came across two. I'm guessing there must be definitely more, but there's this guy called Karan Singh, who's a magician, and there's a lady called Suhani Shah, who's a mentalist.
Got it.
And I feel like those people are also getting quite a bit of traction. I feel that is returning, but they lack a certain amount of, I would say, flair or showmanship. Like that showmanship is not on point to drive their art. See, I'm telling very honestly that I think they're very, very talented, because it takes a lot of skill to do what they do.
Correct.
Just that वो लोग presentation में मार खाते हैं. Again, that
fair enough.
Branding में मार खा रहे वो लोग.
Because when you're saying this, it just reminded me of the fact that, so when the shift happened, right, where from the streets, it was adopted by magicians like PC Sarkar and the magicians to come, who tried to westernize their show for a global audience. And then magic sort of moved towards the West. Yahan pe magicians are trying to, sort of emulate the West. This is a continuation of that, right?
Yeah.
Where now the cool person, the person to be, is someone like David Blaine. Right? And so you have these kids now on YouTube, I don't know how young or old they are, but like they are trying to walk on to somebody and talk to them and perform a magic trick. Very much Blaine style.
Yeah, they're doing it like the way they've seen it always.
Yeah, so they're sort of missing a flair that is inherent to Indian magic.
Yeah, for sure.
Or to magic actually.
For sure.
I mean, that just brings me to the fact that India has magic schools.
Oh yeah.
And I think they should really enroll in one.
नहीं, वो आबरा कडावरा जैसा टटे नहीं है, please. No.
So,
not that.
There are a host of magic schools. Like, so I have a few names here. There's Magic World in Kolkata, which is supposed to be one of the best.
Well, Bengali, so you just know it's the best.
Yeah. And also, it's not in like a fancy place. It's literally like you have to go through like a basti, and then there's like one building. And he's again, like generations wala magician who is like, abhi main padha raha hai. So, because like that's so where the interest lies. And so then there is a Delhi School of Magic. There is the International Academy of Illusion, again in Delhi. There's the Institute of Magic and Allied Arts in Bangalore.
Nice.
All these places, if you are really interested in magic, offer 1-year courses.
Yeah.
And they do like weekend courses for the hobbyists amongst us, right?
Dude, so they have, I was reading this article, but the most amazing line of this entire article was, all these schools are not affiliated to a certified education board, so will not get a degree that you can use. I'm like, the fucking duh. I'm like, ये कोई बोलने की बात है?
But what I liked about some of the better schools like Magic World or whatever is that they don't just teach you how to do something and do it safely, because magic is dangerous.
It is very dangerous, yeah.
They also teach you comedy, ventriloquism, drama, and how to deal with hecklers.
Wow, how to deal with hecklers.
I'm like, dude,
That's
that is
really
an
nice.
Updated syllabus, dude.
Yeah,
that
of course.
And you need it. You need the comedy. You need the, ventriloquism.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
need the drama. Because that's what made it magical. I understand you want to walk up to somebody and be like, I can read your mind. I can tell you how much money you have in your pocket.
Hat, nikal.
But I want to be amazed. Right?
Dude, like, you know what I feel, honestly? Now that I think about it, I have gone through these people on YouTube, right? And I know what they lack. They lack the brash confidence of the street people.
Correct.
Because they are like, I know this is my skill.
I can pull it off anywhere, no matter the location.
तू जगह बोल में आएगा. वो जो brash confidence है ना, that gives them that ability to add flair. Correct. To add jokes. Also, if you've been to Indian magic shows, I'm not sure your grandfather did that, but there is always this thing element of comedy in it.
Yeah, there
always.
Is. But see, I also remember this one magic show I saw, which wasn't my granddad, where he was like very nicely performing a trick and he wanted to open a drawer with flair for it, okay? And then he's like, and he very naturally was like, oh, this is fucking stuck, it's ruining my show. He was like, sorry, give me a minute. And then he pulls it out and in that drawer was a skeleton drinking daru. And he was like, whatever drinks daru always fucking ruins the show, and like he threw it out, like the social commentary.
That's so cool.
Over there. Like I was like, that's so nice.
Must hai, dude. Must.
Yeah.
I can't I feel Indians, because apna street art culture and our theatre, all that is so strong. I feel the modern comedians should just accept that. I don't mean dress up in a turban and like a fancy jacket or whatever. Yeah. Just add that element of comedy or flair.
It'll be nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
course.
You do you, man. But it would... I feel like you have such a beautiful heritage. It'd be nice if you took it somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Dude, I'm so sad that a show like David Blaine has not come out from India.
Hannah?
Because someone should just go to do an audition of street magicians, basically.
Or
like
if you have
an idea.
Different kind of magician exists in different parts of this country. That's why this country is amazing.
Yeah.
If you just did that, followed them around or like took them from place to place, I think that would make a great show.
100%. मैं तो definitely देखेगा वो.
And especially a trip to that black magic village. मुझे एम्पोरियम में देखना है.
मुझे जाना है उधर.
Yeah, dude.
For sure.
I mean, let's bring that wonder back, man.
I mean, yeah, for sure, dude. I feel we, like, as a generation or as people, we need to sort of move away from the scientific thought. Not completely. Please, not completely, but...
I wouldn't say move away from scientific thought, but I would say that also enjoy.
Maybe just make space.
Yeah, make space.
Make space in your life for like the wonder, the magic, the sort of things that cannot be explained, and just enjoy them as things that cannot be explained.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. So on that note, let us know if you have some really cool experiences.
Yeah, let us know if a magician beat you. Like he did me.
Or maybe you have some pleasant experiences. Clearly Ramanujan has only bad experiences with magic. And he's still positive about it, okay?
Yeah, dude.
So, let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.
And subscribe because we have new episodes out every Friday.
See you guys on the other side.